So, anyway.
Oh, okay.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Superb. Sorry, mate. Sitting on your bum, sitting on your knee there.
Cozy. All good?
1 second, so I just
Oh.
put that stuff back in the pocket.
Mate, you've dropped some money there, mate, as well. You quid.
Rolling in it.
They all count, don't they?
They all
really
count
do.
that. Buy your coffee later on, that was it.
Well, not in London, eh?
No, exactly, yeah.
Inflation these days.
All good?
Good job there's not four of us, we wouldn't have all fitted on.
know.
Actually, just quickly, sorry, I just seen all our singles out there as well, from Rhodes.
Physical.
Physical.
In the
Literally like 5 boxes of our singles that we have to sign. So it
joy.
is a good feeling, but it's also a bad feeling because you're looking at them and thinking, wow, there's about 5,000 singles there that we've got to sign. That'll probably take us about 7 hours.
Do they look good though? That's
They
the
look
most important.
awesome. The new artwork looks
just see
great.
it, so,
Yeah, I'll bring one in.
We'll put it on the
I was a
camera.
bit scared to take one just in case they thought I wasn't in Lawson, you know what I mean? Because our faces on the cover.
Yeah.
So like anyone new in the office, like who's this guy? Who's the scouser coming along to rob the?
Every single one you take though is one we don't have to sign. So
True.
Oh,
Yeah. So
good
sorry,
thinking.
you can't have one.
no, it's good.
I've already
You can have
stolen
one,
quite a
actually,
few
yeah.
from that
Take as many
box.
as you want. Take the whole box, so we don't have to sign them.
True, but also then it's one less sale.
That's true.
Most people don't buy records these days
They don't.
anyway, do
They
they? That's a whole
Such a
nother
shame,
topic.
isn't it?
I should probably start the interview, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
Probably.
sorry, let's go. Yeah, we can start now.
Hi, it's Sophie. I'm at Universal HQ with Adam and Andy of Lawson.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great,
Very
thanks.
well.
Feeling refreshed now?
Yeah, feeling refreshed. It's a lovely day in London today, isn't it? So it always puts you in a better mood, doesn't it? The sun, so.
How are your moods generally? Because this is potentially quite a stressful time. You've worked a lot of months on your latest record and it's now the time for people to actually hear it. Do you have sleepless nights around this time? Or?
It's funny you say that actually, because I was just walking through the record label then, and the head of our label, Ferdy, just said, you know, how are you coping with the stress? And I was actually like, great, you know what I mean? I don't even feel like I'm that stressed, to be fair. At the minute, I feel great, you know, really excited for the new record, and really excited to get Rhodes, the brand new single, out there. And I think it's we've had such an amazing response that sort of takes the pressure off, you know? You're sort of a bit worried when you first come back and you're like, oh God, are people going to like the single? But, you know, the response we've had so far, you know, nearly 1 million hits on YouTube, on the video even, and, you know, in like the space of a few weeks. So it's a good feeling. We're in a good place.
Good. That's nice to have some positivity
Yeah.
today. Yeah, so how do you cope when you're off the road? Are you the sort of band that kind of get a bit stir crazy when you're not performing live?
Oh, 100%. It's absolutely horrible. We sorry, I get a bit emotional thinking about it. It's horrible. No, because we obviously, like, we spend so much time on the road, and after a couple of years of being on the road, you think I'm ready for a couple months off now. And so we had a couple months off, but after that first week, or even after a couple of days, we go into WhatsApp to each other and we're like, I'm done now. I had a couple of days off. Let's get back on the road. So it is horrible, and you're just used to being around. It's like a tour family, especially when you're on a bus. You got 10 people on that bus and a couple of buses on the tour, and those people are your family, and you spend every day, every kind of waking hour with them. And then to
Literally your family as well. My dad sometimes comes on the bus, so yeah, literally your family.
So literally you're home, and you don't have them with you anymore, and it's a horrible feeling. So we do miss it. So we're happy to be back on the road, and to be out doing promo, and just be back with the musical families.
And you played live at Leeds recently. Now, did you use that as a way to kind of gauge what songs from the new record were kind of connecting with fans? And were you surprised by any of the ones that did do a bit better or worse than you thought?
Yeah, I think it's always good to dip your feet in the water, you know, like we did a small run of shows recently as well, on our own headline shows too. Scala in London, Manchester, and the Garage in Glasgow. So it's always good, yeah, because those smaller venues, you can gauge everyone's reaction, as you say. And I think I was a little surprised, really, because I thought, I mean, actually Adam put a tweet up the other day, you know, out of the brand new songs we performed. What was your favourite? And a lot of fans were talking about a song called Used to Be Us, which I was actually quite surprised about. I thought it would have been a song called We Are Kings, which is a new song of ours, which I thought the fans would love, but they seem to prefer Used to Be Us. So it's interesting, isn't it?
So we have no idea ourselves, really. That's the thing. You always think you know what songs are going to go down best and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's the fans'
When you
choice,
write
isn't
them,
it? Yeah.
you're obviously biased, aren't you, as well? You know, you write a song and you're like, oh, I like that one, I like this one. And also we've been living with the songs for a year. So fresh ears is such an important like phrase we have in our band. You know, like when you get fresh ears on a track, it's so important. So.
When you finished a record and it's all wrapped, when you listen back, do you hear things and go, oh, I hate that bit there, I wish we'd done a bit more of a solo there, or my voice isn't quite...
We did it in a way which kind of... a way which was great, because we kind of got rid of that whole thing there by... Normally, we go in the studio, and as a drummer, you do drums for the first 4 days, that's done, you move on to bass, and you do it like that, which is... It's a very quick way of doing things, but you don't really get to spend time at just making the song a song. So our producer this time, John Fields, was fantastic. And we'd go in, first thing in the day, Andy'd maybe put some acoustic guitar down, then put his vocal, then we'd add drums on top of that. And we'd pretty much do a whole song in one day. And by the end of that day, we'd have a mix, which we'd listen to in the car on the way back to the house. And then we'd live with that mix overnight, listen to the things we want to change, what we want to improve, go in the next day, spend the morning fixing that, and then move on to the next song. So by doing that, you can kind of get rid of that, oh, I wish we changed that, I wish we changed that, because we have the opportunity to change them before they start bugging us.
Yeah.
Now, he's worked with like a vast array of artists, from like the pop people like Demi Lovato, and then also like Jimmy Eat World, Andrew WK. So was there one particular album that attracted to him as producer, because you thought, if he can do that, that'd be great for us?
Well, Jimmy Eat World definitely was a great sounding album, and also he worked on one of our favourite bands, Parachute, which is a band from America. He worked on their album. Switchfoot as well
was a big one. That's really good. And as you say, he did a lot of the pop stuff as well. You know, so like I know he'd worked with Nick Jonas a lot back in the day, and Demi Lovato, as you say. So he'd had that perfect balance between pop and rock, you know. And he also worked with the Goo Goo Dolls as well. Obviously, we were a massive band. So and his attitude was great. You know, he just loved it. You know, and obviously we love it so much that it was just a brilliant vibe between us, because it was just it was so collaborative. You know, like he said, well, you know, I'm the producer, but at the end of the day, this is your album, so you do whatever you want, basically. Whereas the previous times it's been more like, I'm the producer, we'll do it my way, you know what I mean, which is fine.
It can vary greatly, can't it?
Of course it can, and that's fine, you know what I mean. And you know, when you've worked with big producers who've won Grammys and stuff, you have to put your trust in that, you know. So that's nothing wrong with that approach, but I just think we enjoyed it a little bit more this time, because it was a little bit more, you know, we were a little bit more free.
And also the studio, you worked in Nashville, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers have been there, Incubus, like amazing rock bands. Did you feel that kind of fueled you even more to create a really great rock record as well?
Definitely. I think the studio's kind of just completely catered for that, even down to the kind of gear. Oh, sorry.
Popular guy.
Is that your mum?
Unrecognised number.
Oh,
that's exciting.
Oh, it's a London number. Oh, there we go. Slide that over there.
Smooth.
Couldn't even hear that slide. Good, that was good. No, the studio was completely catered for kind of making a rock album, even down to the gear. Like, I think there was, for a drummer, obviously, when you go over to America, you haven't got your kit, so you're kind of trusting on the studio's kits, and they had 40 kits to choose from. They had 200, 300 guitars, 200 amps, so the gear was just incredible, and they're all kind of vintage, the most amazing sounding musical instruments you could ever imagine. So to have them free to kind of play on your album with was just fantastic. And
it's like being in a sweet shop, innit?
It really is like being in a musical sweet shop, yeah. And just the kind of the memorabilia on the wall from around the studio as well, and just everyone who worked there. It's just such a friendly place to be, that I can't really ever see us recording anywhere else in the future.
Oh, really?
Yeah. James Bay just did his album there as well, and after we left, John Mayer arrived.
Oh, not
so
bad,
he was doing his album there, and
we said hi on the way out.
Yeah, Maroon 5 are next door. So it's
surreal,
like just
isn't it?
massive bands everywhere you look, you know, massive artists. So to be surrounded by that was a dream come true.
Those moments must make you think, we're doing all right, we don't need to worry too much, things are going okay.
It's a pinch yourself moment, isn't it, really? You know, when, especially just being out in Nashville. We've always wanted to go to Nashville. Like, we did a lot of stuff in LA, you know, we've been to a lot of places in America, did tours and stuff, but we'd never been to Nashville. And, you know, you hear so many amazing stories about Nashville, the people, and, you know, it's Music City, isn't it, at the end of the day? And, you know, we like to call it the red light district of music. That's what it's like. Literally, you walk down the main strip, and every single bar, there's a band, you know, and you just window shop, and then, like you would in Amsterdam, you go home, you know what I mean? But here, we didn't go home, we went in and watched some bands.
Great analogy, that one.
Yeah, exactly. So you window shop, you go home. However, in Nashville, you window shop, you go in.
Yeah.
So it was good, and, you know, playing a variety of different music as well, you know, not just country, but, you know, like pop music, rock music, you know, gospel, R&B. It's a bit of everything, isn't it?
And it's just, we just feel like we just wish there was a place like that in England.
Yeah.
Like, because nights are so based around dance music now and drum and bass and stuff like that, which
You could also get in Nashville if you wanted.
If you wanted to get that in
Yeah.
Nashville, you could. But for us, we just love seeing live music, and nights out should be completely based. You can't beat a night out if you're with your mates. Covers band playing Mr. Brightside. You've got your arms around each other screaming it. That's what a night out's all
That's
about.
my uni time summed up.
Stevie
right there.
Wonder,
Exactly.
Superstition, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
oh,
Then they go
amazing.
into, you know, Marvin Gaye. It's like, it's just
And then if you get bored of that band, go next door and there's a band just as good playing the kind of classic 80s rock hits. And when you're bored of that, you go
Journey.
down.
Oh,
Bit of Journey.
man, I need to go to this place.
okay.
Throw in some ribs and you've got a party, haven't you?
Well, there's enough ribs there, don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
Barbecue every day. So, no,
BBQ.
it's the place to be, it really
Did
is.
you not find it a bit distracting though? Because it sounds so amazing. I can imagine some days you're like, maybe we'll give the studio a miss today. Let's get some ribs and some beer and
We always had ribs and beer.
in the studio.
In the studio, every night it was barbecue in the studio, so that was great. And then, you know, we have Saturdays and Sundays off. I think we had Saturdays in the studio, maybe an early one on Saturday. So we still got to explore and do what we wanted to do. And you know, being in the studio for us is our favourite thing, though. So I mean, we wouldn't want to be like, should we have a day off? In fact, when John, our producer, wanted to have a day off on Sunday, we were a bit like, oh, got it, because we
Lazy.
we were just loving it. You know what I mean? So, and they had like a table tennis table, basketball court, and
And one day Warp Tour was in town, it was just
yeah.
down the road, so me and Ryan popped down for a couple of hours, checked out Warp Tour and stuff, then came back, and because we were having doing such long days in the studio, we were in there for about 6 hours in the morning, went down to Warp Tour for 3 hours and came back, and we still had another 6 hours in the studio in the afternoon, so it was long productive days, but
Yeah.
worth every
Who
second.
did you catch at Warped?
Who did we see at Warped? I'm just trying to think now. We saw. Oh God, this is. You can skip this.
I'll just like edit the pause out, the awkward pause.
Beers drunk before we went down.
Shall we just say it was good and you liked
I
it?
was trying to see who did.
that real like.
Anne Boleyn. We saw one of Anne Boleyn's last
yeah.
shows. That was our last Warped Tour.
That's cool.
We saw Boys Like Girls. This is going to be the most entertaining part of an interview ever. Literally.
Gosh, I shouldn't have asked. It's my own fault.
We saw Into Shikari.
Yes, good.
We saw Into Shikari.
Nice.
It's the being there that counts, isn't it?
It was
Taking part.
I had no idea what I saw. It's a very hectic Warped Tour. And my mind was on the album, I'll be honest with
You
you.
were concentrating
Every
on
time I heard
that.
a song, all I was thinking about the songs we were recording, so it was very difficult to see who was on stage.
Good save, liked it. Yeah. Now, talking about the album, did you guys sit down and have a chat saying, we want it to go in this direction, or do you just jam right and see what kind of naturally flows?
Yeah, bit of both. You know, you have to have a sort of direction you think you want to go in, and if you steer away from that, it's fine. You know, just we spent days where we were like, that didn't work. You know, but we still had fun doing it. You know what I mean? And you know, we'd have days where we were like, wow, that's brilliant. Let's do another one like that because that's a good vein. And then you sort of hit on, you know, like 4 or 5 songs in where the album's going. You know what I mean? And you use a lot of the same plugins and a lot of the same guitars and stuff, and then it just starts becoming a thing. You know?
Yeah.
So it was a really good process, wasn't it? It was so enjoyable and really creative as well, you know, writing and having fun basically with with your mates, you know, and in an amazing studio.
Life's good, isn't it? really?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
It really was.
And now, with the lyrics, do you make a point of explaining to the other guys what they are about, or do you keep it a bit vague? Because sometimes it can be embarrassing, you know, exposing everything in detail to everyone.
Sometimes, like, you know, for instance, I'd say, to be honest, you'd know, wouldn't you? Like, you know,
You're good buddies
you'd
anyway.
be like, oh, you know, stand in the dark, or was that about that, you know what I mean? Or so it's pretty obvious in terms of, because we know exactly what's going on in each other's lives, you know, and so we'd be like, yeah, I wrote this one about, you know, that girl I was with, or you know, the current girl I'm with, or whatever. So it's lyrically, this album really went up a notch, you know, like in terms of the maturity of the lyric. I think I'm also, as a songwriter, I really feel like I've improved a lot. So I mean, it was really good to vent a lot of my emotions into the lyrics, you know what I mean, whether that be, you know, happy emotions or sad emotions or whatever, but you know, just get them all in there. And I think that really comes across in the songs, you know. You can really hear that I mean it, I mean what I'm singing, you know.
I think fans will relate to it more if they can tell it's genuine.
I think that's
how it works.
I think that's why artists like Ed Sheeran, Sam Smith,
Yeah.
Adele have done so well, because you know, it's
authentic.
It's authentic and
And
it's
quite raw.
raw, exactly, and it's real.
Yeah.
So
Now, I put out the feelers to Twitter yesterday to ask for some fan questions.
cool.
Obviously, they're a bit random, as they generally tend to be, so are you ready?
We've had some real random ones, so I'm sure
You can deal with this, yeah.
we've had some before. Like, what would you rather do? Would you rather have a goat's head or a goat's leg or something like that? Wasn't
I
it?
think that was one of my favourites.
What was your answer?
Naturally go for a goat's leg. Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
Where would the goat's leg be? Is it like just
they
coming?
don't say you have to have it on you. So
Oh, you just own a
have
goat.
it and then you sell it as well, don't they?
Eat it. Unless you're a
You probably
vegetarian, you know, which I'm not.
Love the ribs.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So Kat Parry wants to know, if you could perform one song with one band or artist, who and what would the song be?
Well, I'm a big Beatles fan. You know, I love what obviously Kanye West, Rihanna, and Paul McCartney. You know, that's a dream collaboration for me to collaborate with Paul. You know what I mean?
That's huge.
That'd be unbelievable. I've obviously grown up listening to the Beatles all my life, so that was the reason I got into music. So for me, it'd be McCartney. I'm sure you'll have someone different, Ads.
I'd love to play Gravity with John Mayer. Just start that beat off.
6/8.
It's a bit of 6/8. Wait for that guitar to come in and just sit back and watch John take it away.
Yeah.
And probably just get lost in what you're doing. That'd be pretty fun.
Bit of a man crush going on with John Mayer, I'm sensing, yeah?
We'd love a bit of John Mayer.
Yeah.
You can't beat him.
Definitely.
Dan Maguire, 94. What's the most embarrassing photo on your phone currently? You've just smoothed your phone away, so we can't really tell.
Can't see Adams. I've got some probably embarrassing ones.
It was your birthday recently, so
It was
maybe
my birthday at the weekend. Just trying to think. Let's have a little look.
Oh, this could be
Shall I have a look?
juicy, couldn't it?
I'll have a look and see what I've got on here. I think I
won't
might
look, 'cause it's always
have.
awkward when people are scrolling through and then you're like,
You
whoa.
never know what you're going to see.
To be fair, I've got a picture of Richard Branson on my phone. No idea why.
Why
See what's been
Sent that
sent
to you,
on
didn't
there. Yeah, he sent that to me.
Late night WhatsApp chats.
This is boring, isn't it? To be fair, nothing really. Oh, what's that? Look like
Oh,
a naked
God.
body.
I saw a glimpse of that and I don't want to know.
Probably best to put that away.
Okay, I'll move on swiftly. Kate T, which is Nace Victory. If you could be anyone for the day, who would you be?
That's a good one. I'd probably be Steven Gerrard, the footballer, because I sort of know what it feels like well, I do know what it feels like to play big shows at like Wembley Stadium, you know, the O2 Arena, but I don't know what it feels like to step on to a football pitch in front of 40,000 people screaming my name. Yeah, so I'd quite like to feel that. If not him, maybe an actor, someone like Tom Cruise or something like that.
Just for a day, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be quite cool to be Lewis Hamilton or someone for a
Oh,
day.
that's a
on
good
like,
one.
say, Monaco Grand Prix Day. I mean, what a day to be
nice.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Just obviously
On a day off, you wouldn't really want to be him, would you?
When he was with Nicole Scherzinger, you would have.
watching TV.
I'd love to. He's got a red private jet, so I'd love to fly in that as well. That'd be
Nice.
God, jammy.
cool. He's got it sorted.
Yeah,
I'll
doesn't
tell you
it?
what would be good. Daniel Craig on the set
I'd
of
definitely
007.
hang out with you.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't anyway, but
That'd be
you know.
great, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Imagine what it feels like to be James Bond. We actually seen Daniel Craig the other day too.
What's he like in the flesh?
Absolutely
He was
great.
dressed as Bond.
He was in a suit. We were at
suave.
Pinewood Studios and he was just riding around on a push bike in a suit.
What were you doing at Pinewood? Is this a
We
secret?
were performing on National Lottery,
Oh.
and obviously it's famous for filming Bond at Pinewood. But little did you know is they also filmed the Lottery there.
And a lot of other big shows too.
Yeah, so that's why we were there, and our tour manager rang us because he went out to buy us a Nando's because he's a lovely man. And he was driving down, he saw this guy coming towards him on a push bike in a suit, and he goes, "Oh bloody hell, it's Daniel Craig." So he rang us, we ran out straight away and just caught him, and yeah, it
Had a
was-
chat, lovely guy.
lovely
So you
guy.
literally ran after Daniel Craig?
Yeah,
Well, no,
but
we
fair
ran
play.
after Bond. He was dressed as Bond. So
But he was he was on a bike, so we did have an advantage. You know what I mean?
we
But
still caught him though.
yeah, we
There was
could.
no getting away from us.
Took him down.
Are you generally cool when you meet like your idols and stuff, or do you just crumble like most of us do into sweaty pools?
Nowadays, I think we're fine. When we
Yeah.
first started, like 6 years ago, you know, we were very new to all this, you know, so we were very sort of taken in by meeting famous people. Like, you know, we met like Ronnie Wood and, you know, Bon Jovi, stuff like that. And we were sort of like, wow, you know, this is incredible. But then, you know, after you've been in the industry for such a long time, you know, it becomes like a regular thing at gigs and stuff. So we play it a lot cooler now than we used to.
You try.
We try, yeah.
Only one time I struggled, we were doing a gig in Manchester, and there's only 2 bands on this lineup playing live, and it was us and Robbie Williams. So everyone else would turn up about 6 o'clock that night, where we were there at 10 in the morning for sound check, and the only other person there for 10 o'clock in the morning for sound check was Robbie Williams. So we were just sitting in catering, just us and Robbie, and honestly, one of the nicest guys we've ever met. We'd met him just before that, but not kind of for a talk like we had there, and he was just sat with us for an hour having lunch, and and I was a big Robbie fan growing up, and still am. He's a musical legend. So
literally one of the nicest men in the music industry.
just to sit
It's
there
a relief
for an
when you
hour
hear
and
that.
just talking, and he was just giving us advice, just stories that we kind of never heard from his side of things, and it was just.
And then give us a shout out as well when he was on stage.
Yeah, never forget that day.
Life made right there.
Brilliant. Robbie, what a guy.
What are the moments that your parents go, okay, that's pretty big? Because, you know, some things you say, I played with blah, 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 and they're like, who are they? But, like, what's the thing that made them realise?
I think probably perform at Wembley Stadium, wasn't it? We did a big sort of multi-bill show there with like Coldplay, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, and they came along to that, and I think that was crazy for us, you know. I mean, 80,000 people, but as a parent, you know, I'm not a parent, so I don't know how that feels, but I can imagine it's quite a feeling of pride, isn't it? You know what I mean? Watching, you know, your son or whatever perform in front of 80,000 people, and it's quite tearful.
Yeah, I would have been welling.
Yeah, so that's probably, I reckon, probably one of the moments that definitely hit them. Like.
No, I think I saw somewhere that you want to play Red Rocks, like that's one of the targets. What else is on the bucket list as a band, Lawson?
That's number 1 on venue bucket list, isn't it?
Stunning, isn't
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
That's one. We're lucky enough we've done lots of the UK ones, so it's mostly America, isn't it?
Rock in Rio and stuff. I mean, obviously, like the setup there is amazing. There's like a couple of 100,000 people as well.
The one in Vegas, though, or Rio?
Rio.
Yeah.
The actual one in Rio. The real. We'd still love to do the Vegas one. Don't get me wrong. But,
South America in general would be nice. We've not been there. We've been a lot of places in Asia and America, but we've not been to South America, so definitely want to tick that off the bucket list.
Coachella, it's definitely up there as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Brother went to Coachella this year as a punter, absolutely amazing. So yeah, they're definitely some big ones, aren't they? Maybe also Hollywood Bowl.
Oh yeah, so
in LA.
30 Seconds to Mars there.
Oh, amazing.
Incredible, what a venue, beautiful.
Outdoor, brilliant.
We'll make it happen. Maybe this is the year.
Maybe.
Yeah. Buy the new record coming out later this year, and the single end of this month.
Yeah, single end of the month, Roads.
Yeah.
And then the album probably end of August, early September time. So yeah, and then a tour. Lawson tour at the end of the year too.
Red Rocks is on the tour, and
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl. No, not
And
Red.
Madison Square Garden.
Can I be your PA if you go to Red Rocks and just
Absolutely.
like give you ribs and
Of course you can.
stuff? Thanks.
Maybe you could be like a photographer or bring your
Yes,
camera.
blogger,
and film.
vlogger.
Yeah, exactly.
Vlogger.
We
Oh,
need
there you
that.
Oh, that's on camera now.
I know.
Red Rocks,
Yes.
see you there.
All
you
right.
there.
Thanks for talking to me.
No
Thanks for
worries.
having us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.